So, good morning, class 8. How are you all? I hope you people are enjoying your winter vacation holidays. But as you all know, that study is also important. So, here we are for starting with our today's class. Okay, and as you all know, that if we have any problem and if anybody violates any law or if anybody harm us, then where we need to complain? Then where we need to file a appeal? We directly proceed to a police station or we directly file a suit in the court. So related to that, our topic is judiciary in India. Okay, in this chapter we are going to study about the judicial system of India. Okay, so let's begin with it. In India, we have a rule of law, and rule of law means everyone is equal and no one is above the law. If anybody violates the law, whether it's a common man or a prime minister, the punishment will be same for everyone. Okay? And to enforce this law, we have a judicial system consists of mechanism of court. Okay, how this rule of law applies? It applies with the mechanism of court that a citizen can approach when the law is violated. Okay, and as an organ of the state, the judiciary plays a very important role in the functioning of India's democracy. And it can play this role fairly because in India, our judicial system is independent. It is not under the influence of any rich people or under the influence of government. The judicial system is an independent organ. I hope it is clear. So, next topic is that what is the role of judiciary? What is the role of judicial system? So, court can take decision on a very large number of issues. Obviously, if there is any issue, then where we proceed? We proceed to a court. So, court is a body which take decision on a very large number of issues. And they can decide the topic related to anything. Like the teacher cannot beat a student, or if a matter of sharing of water between two states, or they can punish people for particular crimes. And the work of the judiciary can be divided in the following parts. Now just see what are those parts. So first is dispute resolution, second is judicial review, and the third is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. Okay, so first we will begin with the dispute resolution. So what is the meaning of dispute resolution? So the judicial system provides a mechanism for resolving any kind of dispute. If any kind of quarrel is between the citizens or between the citizen and the government or between the two state government or between the central and the state government, then where the matter will be resolved. Okay, so it is resolved by the courts. The judicial system provides a mechanism. Okay, the matter will take to the court and then the judge will provide the judgment over it. And it can be the matter related to anyone, like it can be the dispute between two citizens, between the citizen and the government, between two state government, or between the central and the state government. So this is about dispute resolution. And next is the judicial review. Judicial review means as a final interpreter of the constitution, the judiciary has a power to nullify or to strike down any law if it is found that that particular law is violating the structure of the constitution or it is not according to the provision of the constitution. Then as a final interpreter of the constitution, the judiciary has a power to nullify or make that law void. Okay, so this is the meaning of judicial review. But it can be happen only if it is found that law is not according to the provision of the constitution. Okay, so next is upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. As you all know that we are living in a democratic country. Okay, and in a democratic and as we are living in a democratic country, so we people are having some basic fundamental rights, and every citizen that of Indian citizen can approach the Supreme Court or a High Court if they believe that their fundamental rights have been violated. Okay, if you felt that your fundamental rights are being violated, then you can directly proceed to the High Court or a Supreme Court. Okay, so this is about upholding the law and enforcing the fundamental rights. So it is the functions of the judiciary. You can say it is the role of the judiciary. Dispute resolution, judicial review, and then upholding the law and enforcing fundamental rights. All are the work that to be done by the judiciary only. Okay, so now the next topic. The next topic is what is an independent judiciary. As I have told you in the starting of the chapter that our judiciary is an independent organ. It is not under the influence of any rich people, or it is also not under the influence of the government. All the decisions that are taken by the judiciary is independent. So, let's see. The Indian Constitution protects the citizen against the influence of the rich and powerful people by providing for the independence of judiciary. So, how the judiciary can be independent? A judiciary can be independent with the separation of powers. Okay, it means that other branches of the state like legislature and the executive cannot interfere in the working of the judiciary. There is a separation of power between these three organs. Like legislature have different power, executive have different power, and then the judiciary have different power. Both legislature and executive cannot interfere in the working of the judiciary. Okay, and the courts are under the government. The courts are not under the government and they do not act on their behalf. The Supreme Court and the judges of the High Court as appointed with very little interference from the other branches of the government. Okay, and once it is appointed, it is very difficult to remove a judge. And it is the independence of a judiciary that allows the court to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of the powers of the legislature and the executive. Okay? And it also plays a very important role in protecting the fundamental rights that is given to the Indian citizens. Okay, because if you felt, as I have already told you, that if anybody felt that their law, that their fundamental rights is violated, then they can directly approach to the court. Okay, so in this way, it plays a very important role in protecting the fundamental rights of the citizen as well. Okay, so this is all about the independent judiciary. Okay, I hope so now it is clear that how our judiciary is independent. Now, just proceed to the structure of courts in India. Okay, so there are different levels of courts in India, as we all know, and there are several courts which are at the lower level, and there is only one court at the apex level, and that is the Supreme Court. The court that most people interact with. Okay, the court in which daily people interact or in which the mostly people interact is the subordinate or the district court. It is a lower level court. And they are usually at the district or the tehsil level or in towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. Okay, and each state is divided into districts that are presided over by the district judge. Each district court have a district judges also. Okay, and each state has a high court. As we all know that each state has a high court, which is the highest court of that state. At the top level, we have the Supreme Court, and we have only one Supreme Court that is located in the New Delhi, and it is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. And the decision which is taken by the Supreme Court are binding on all the courts in India. Like if you people are not satisfied with the decision of district court, then you can proceed to the High Court. And if you felt that you are not getting the proper judgment from the High Court, then you can proceed to the Supreme Court as well. And then the decision of the Supreme Court is final and binding on all the courts in India. Is it clear? So these are the three levels of our judiciary. That is district court, okay, which is at the district or the tehsil level. ठीक है, and then we have the High Court. It is the highest court of the state, and then we have the Supreme Court at the top level or at the apex level. Okay, we have only one Supreme Court, okay, at the central level. I hope so the levels of court is also clear. And in India we have the integrated judicial system. It means that decisions made by the higher courts are binding on the lower courts. Whatever the decisions are made in the higher courts will be followed by the lower courts also. And another way is through the appellate system that exists in India. Appellate system means a person can appeal to the higher court, as I have told you, if they believe that judgment passed by the lower court is not fair. Okay, then you can appeal to the high court also. And this is the meaning of appellate system, and it also exists in India. Now there are different branches of the legal system. There are two different branches of legal system in India. First is the criminal law and the second is the civil law. So the criminal law deals with cases which are considered as crime. It deals with conducts or acts that the law defines as crime. For example, theft or harassing a woman to bring more dowry, or murder case. Okay, and how it begins? It begins usually with the lodging of an FIR. An FIR means the first information report with the police, and after the FIR, investigation will be started. Okay, and after which a case is filed in the court. Okay, and if found guilty, the accused can be sent to the jail. Okay, or also fine can be charged on it. So this is all about the criminal law. So it only deals with those cases which the law defines as offense or crime. Okay, and how it begins? It begins with FIR with the police, and then the investigation will start. Police will investigate the crime, and after which a case is filed in the court. And if the person is found guilty, then that accused person can be sent to the jail and also fined. So this is about the criminal law. Now the next law that we have is the civil law. So civil law deals with any harm or injury to the right of individual. For example, it is related to the dispute relating to the sale of land, purchase of goods, rent matter, divorce cases, any family matter. So all these matters are dealt in the civil courts. A petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only, and in a rent matter, either the landlord or tenant can file a case. Okay, who will file the petition? Obviously, the petition will be filed by the affected party only. And if there is a matter of rent, then either the landlord or a tenant can file a case. And the court gives a specific relief asked for. Okay, for example, if there is a case between a landlord and tenant, and a court can order the flat to be vacated, okay, and pending rent to be paid. So all these kind of law are dealt in the civil law. Suppose dispute relating to the sale of land or the purchase of goods or the rent matter or the divorce cases or any other kind of property issue or family issue. All these matters are dealt in the civil law. So these are the two different branches of legal system that we have in India. Okay, so this is it for our today's class. Okay, today we have discussed many things, like we have introduced this chapter and we have also studied about the role of the judiciary in India. Okay, and then we have studied about the independent judiciary. Okay, and then we have studied about the structure of the judicial system. Okay, and then after that we have studied about the branches of legal system in India. Okay, and rest we will continue in our next class. Until then, you have to read this chapter. Okay, so till then, be safe students. Thank you and have a nice day to all.